Before beginning the actual construction and maybe even the design of the bridge, I thought it would be a good idea if you actually saw what the testing rig you were going to use would look like. We're going to use this bucket down here to actually suspend it from your bridge, and there's going to be a plate that goes on top. I'll show you what that looks like here in just a second. And it's going to obviously be pulled down, or the bridge is going to have weight pulled down on it. So we're going to use sand going from one bucket to the next, from the full bucket of sand, which is the one to the right here, to the bucket of sand, or the empty bucket I should say, which will have sand in it on the left side. So I'm going to show you just real briefly how we set this up in our bridge testing rig. Now you might wonder, why exactly do we have the requirement for size of the bridge? Well, I'm going to show you right now. This bridge testing rig is made so it can go about that close together. The reason I have the minimum bridge length, which this is not meeting the minimum by the way, is to maximize the potential for testing. Now this barely fits on here. If you look closely, this actually barely touches each one of these boards. But if I take a bridge that's longer, and this one is in between the 7 to 9 inch range, I actually have a much more stable bridge. You would never see a bridge out in the real world have a very, very little overlap with the bank of the river, so to speak. So you can see here that what we do is we align the edge of the bridge, the outside edge of the bridge, both at the starting and finishing point, whichever one that is, and with the outline, or excuse me, the back portion of each board. Okay, now to actually set this up, and this is the testing rod I told you about, we take this threaded rod, and I'm going to give you a close-up shot of this. The threaded rod is basically like a long screw. And what we're going to do is we're going to take this bucket, we're going to place it underneath. I'm going to move this over so we don't damage it before it's actually time to test. And I'm going to suspend this with one hand. Now, I'm going to take my bridge, I'm going to place it over here. Notice that I have plenty of area. That's actually probably too much area if there is such a thing. But I need at least about a 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch, as the rules say, to place that testing rod over it. This testing rod has a little hole in it. You place it over the testing rod, and what's important is that you actually center your testing plate over the bridge. Now, I'm going to put a small washer on, then a nut. And the nut just threads on. You'd spin it around to the right, and it goes ahead and obviously goes down that threaded rod. Now you can't see it at the moment, but I'll pan down and show you, or tilt down and show you in a second. I'm holding the threaded rod so it suspends the bucket roughly, I'd say about 1 inch or 2 at the most from the floor. So you want to make sure that this is nice and centered, and then I'll tilt down here and show you, and you can see that there's just a little bit of space, again about 1 inch or 2 at the most, inch of space down there at the bottom. So then what we're going to do when you test it, you're going to take our cup. We actually have the Lancer cup up there. You're going to take the cup of sand, and you're just going to one at a time pour it into that bucket until we max out of weight, or it actually breaks, and then we're going to place it here on the scale to get your official weight. Now, you may notice I have safety glasses here, a pair for people without glasses, and a pair for people with glasses. This will go right over your prescription glasses. The reason for that is, of course, sand, when you're pouring it, tends to dust up a little bit, and we don't want any of that in your eyes. So that is how we set up our testing rig for bridges. And hopefully you will have great success and get the at least 50 pounds, which gives you the maximum amount of points for the testing rig.